Swing arms. Let's have a look. Where's the adjustment on this camera? It will work, honest. Right, yep. So, swing arms. These are the dust caps. They didn't come off it, they're off the old one. But you do have these bushes inside, which they do move, honest. But anyway, they turn. They're not actually bushes, they're spacers, and they're made to wear. So when they wear out, you can replace them. Quite simple. So that way, when the bolt goes through, if there's any wear, you just replace the bushes or the bolt. Quite simple. Don't worry, it's swing on. Now, one thing I have got, when I find them, went out and paid about £2, including postage, or whatever it was, not a lot, for new grease nipples. Because the old ones, you will invariably find that one of them is worn. So there's one. The other one goes in the other side, there, like so. Lines up in the most awkward point ever, but that's life. Right guys, when you put the dust caps on, dust caps just got rubber seals on, they just keep dust out quite literally. But put some grease, right, let's get some grease on my finger, just like that, inside the dust caps. That sounds stupid, but it just helps them to seal, keeps everything lubricated as it should do. Then get hold of your swing arm. As you put them on, turn them, and you'll find they set on properly. Don't worry about that bit of grease in there. That bit of grease is going to be useful to lubricate the bolt. Now, let's get the other dust cap and just do that, because it needs doing. I don't put too much in, but just enough to get some in there. Just wipe that in a rag, and then put that on and turn it. Right, now to fit it to the bike, let's just tweak those grease nipples a bit. Unfortunately, they're 3/8 size, which only have 10mm spanner. The ones that I bought are 3/8 size anyway. Right, like that. Now, let me just wipe my hand a minute on my finger. Right, when you fit this in the bike, turn that round a bit, you will notice a problem. Which bit of that can you see? Yep, you can see the swing arm. Can't see the mounting for it. Right, you cannot put this in just like that, won't fit. So you have to put it in, turn it, make sure all the wires are out the way, lower it down to about the point you want it. These never fit perfectly. You need to get the bolt that goes through the swing arm. This one's already got grease on it, and the footrest mount. Put the bolt through the first footrest mount, through the beginning of the swing arm, but not all the way through. Then wriggle the swing arm. It will go on there, that shock's in the way. I'll show you how to do the shocks at some point. Right, oh, a bit too low. It's a bit of a pain. Oh, sugar. Told you I'd show you all my muck-ups. Yeah, and then when you've got the bolt in the right place, which we'll soon know, like so, push it in. Now, there's a good chance that that dust cap will pop off the other side if you're not careful. Invariably does. Now, what I'm going to do, I've got that bolt about halfway in. What I'm going to do, because it's me and I don't want to damage the paint on the swing arm, I do give it a quick coat of paint. And get a shock absorber, put that like that. Get the bolt for the shock absorber. Right, get that on there. And on there, you came off of there. Right, rub the shock absorber around. Oops. Right, I'm going to loosely put that shock absorber in to the bottom of that. So it lines up slightly nicer. Don't know if you can see that. And just line up the bottom of the shock so it lines up a bit nicer with that swing arm, like so. Because that way the swing arm isn't making contact with any other points on the frame. Right. Right, and then shove that bolt all the way home. Right. Now then, you will have certain bolts for certain jobs. So these ones, I know, fit in here. Now you don't want to do this bit up tight yet. And there should be another one of those, wherever I put it. I've got the bolt, I haven't got the washer for it. If it comes down to it, I can find another washer. Right, bear with me guys, just for a sec. Right, another washer. Yeah, and that one goes in there. Where is it? That one there. Just hold that in place. Now, then those are in place. Now I need a 14mm spanner, like so, just to do that. The top of the shock. This will rock backwards and forwards now because it does have some weight in it. And same for the bottom of the shock. Like so. Not done up completely tight yet. There's a reason for this being not that tight, which I will show you. Then you have the other footrest mount, which you can then put on the other side, which you can't see at the moment, but I can. Another one of those bolts, just to hold it on. So for, no, it's not that, oh, where is it? There. Just hold it in place. Then you have a washer that goes on. That washer doesn't look great. And also got a spare one there, which is slightly better condition. And wherever it's gone, a big nut that goes on the other side of it. That's not the one. I've lost one of my nuts. Oh well, one of them things. Oh, there it is. Nut, looks like that. Strange looking castle type nut, but not quite. That goes on the other side. So we just do that up loosely at the moment. Right, good reason it's loose. Right guys, so we have that swing arm on there. the shocks. Right, invariably on these shocks, these tops look a bit tatty. That one isn't that bad. You've got two choices. You can either tape it around there and just spray the top, or if you want to get in and clean the inside of the spring, etc., take the bolt out, and take the bottom bolt out. Nice simple thing, like so. Then get what have I done with a spanner? Get your C-spanner and a screwdriver. Put the screwdriver through the bottom mounting, put it down on the floor, make sure you can see that. Hold that bottom mount with your foot, turn the shock absorber down to the lowest setting. Don't know where you can see it, but it's on the lowest setting. Then there's a 14mm nut on the top of the originals. If you turn that nut and undo it, it's quite simple. Now on a CB450, these should be chrome. On the N and later models, they're all black. Right, once you've undone that nut and taken the washer off, there's a screw thread on it. So I don't know where you can see that, but there's a screw thread. Get a screwdriver, just turn it. It's very important to make sure that the shock is on the lowest setting, otherwise you'll take the risk of taking your arm off. So, and you just screw that in. One shock top. Do not blow your arm off. Now, the makeup of these shocks, quite simple. Spring, bump stop, spring seat, and spring adjuster. And then you've got the damper. So all quite simple. That one's not in the best condition, but that's life. And all I'm going to do is I'm quite literally going to give these a quick wipe over, just to make them look a bit more respectable. Right, I'm going to wipe over this, because these aren't in bad condition. These ones are my CB400T. I'm going to put that back on in the lowest position. Give the spring seat a wipe, like so. And that goes so the flattest part of it is at the bottom, up against there. The springs, they're alright. I'll put that one back on. The skinniest end of the spring's narrower at the bottom and wider at the top. And there's that bump stop. So, now I can give that a quick going over with a wire brush. Quick dust off, quick going over with a wire brush. And give that a coat of black paint. Quite simple. So, bear with me for a minute, and I'll show you. Right guys, once you've sprayed the top of your shock nice and black or whatever colour you decide, quite literally pull this up, that shaft, get the top of your shock, put it on there with your spring, have a look at it. Start gently turning it. You should be able to get it to go on just. If you can't, don't worry about it. You can just get a screwdriver in the middle of it. Alright, then that shaft start turning. So you get your screwdriver, turn it, like so. Just checking something, yeah. Where's that? Like that, until it stops. Get your washer, put it on, get the nut, put that on. Oops, which can be a bit fiddly. And then once that nut's on there, then you can tighten it up. That's just like a locking nut. So you put that on there, you can tighten the nut up, like so, done. Turn that so it matches that way around, and one shock absorber with a newly painted top. Looks a lot fresher. So even though they're old shocks, it just helps tidy them up. So that when they're on the bike, like that, they look tidier. That's the only reason for doing it, as far as I'm concerned. Then find your bolts and put the shocks back in. That's it. That's simple.